critical EDH. Every kiss begins with critical EDH. Me, Logan, Jay, and Jason are all headed to the level 7 weekly tonight. Hopefully we'll get enough people for it to be a silver. What are you guys playing?
Dude, I think it might be a Kinnan night.
Kinnan night.
A Blue Farm night.
Man, you've been doing super, super well in Kinnan lately, but I think you did switch back to Blue Farm last week, right?
Oh, dude, that was so sick. I swapped back to Blue Farm since I haven't played Blue Farm since Snowy Summit, so I just locked that bitch in. And then, I went undefeated.
You gotta make sure she still knows who's boss.
Yeah, I know.
Jay, what about you? What are you playing tonight?
What are you playing?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Is it Shorakai?
Maybe.
No,
Is it?
Marnie's Calgar?
It could be Jen Jensen. If it's Jen Jensen, you have to tell us now.
I can't tell you.
No, it's Gorbel.
No, not Jan Jensen. That's the wrong guy.
Mardu won that sack stuff, right?
That's Jan Jensen.
He's on Jay Jensen.
Jensen's Carthalion is the deck we're talking about.
What are you playing tonight, Logan?
Glarb, right?
Definitely Glarb.
Someone needs to take that deck away from me. I will play it at the earliest given opportunity, but
Yeah, you were literally talking to Austin last night. You're like, I need you to play my list so that I don't.
well, I also like yesterday we were just playing casual games or whatever.
Just kind of like pick up stuff.
Played it the first game, had an absolutely cracked game on it. I was like, okay, I need to put this down. Like, I can't keep doing this. I think I'm going to play Kark Ishai.
Dude, you were on a Kark kick for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like you were on Kark decks right up until you put Rockset together for the Cherry tournament, and you're like only real decks now.
I mean, I think they're real decks. They're just a pain in the ass.
Oh, dude, they do like they're a lot to pilot.
Yeah, I'm looking for a reason to play stock up. And I don't think it's really that good in most decks, but in Kark it seems good if you can pay
Just
3
play Karkashima with Zelda.
No, there's no win cons in that deck, and it's 2 color.
Lightning Bolt, bro.
Okay. What win cons does White add? Angel's Grace?
Blind Obedience if you're desperate. Blind Obedience is interesting, but I'm really not casting that many spells.
But isn't like the whole
trying to,
point of Storm decks to like cast a shit ton of stuff?
Ooh, Audi E-tron. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like Kark is pseudo storm, right? Like you can storm off by casting stuff over and over again, but at some point you're kind of hoping to reach the critical mass of just having enough doublers.
That moment when you fail 5 Kark flips and feed everyone with
dude.
5
I can't wait.
cards.
I can't
That's
wait.
crazy. I've seen it happen so many times.
It's not going to happen to me in Swiss. It's going to happen to me if I make top cut.
Yeah. Kark will let you down when you need him most.
Well, and the other thing is, it's kind of like Kark plus another color. So, assuming blue, right? You add a novelty color, so it's either black or white or green. I think the white novelty is like, I'm just going to silence you every turn until it gets around to my turn, and then I'm also going to silence, and then we'll see if I can pull a win off then. Like that kind of stuff, or just like ripping an Angel's Grace, Final Fortune, and kind of looping that back and forth. Assembling like your own time sieve in a very strange way with Ishai.
Yeah.
Did you not realize that? It's not that far-fetched.
We'll see. I really hope it works. I think that would be hilarious if it worked.
Yeah. So I don't know. Feels okay. Feels like a through line for me to play white in a way that I find amusing. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I'm running like copy enchantment and all that bullshit too, just so I have cards.
Oh, dude, that's going to be so nice.
I think the problem with Kark is that if you just don't have cards, you fail.
Yeah.
And you're just like flailing and just casting random spells in hopes that you get there, and I don't really want to do that.
I'm gonna cast Gift Rope. It goes back to my hand.
Kark as an advantage engine does require you to be a little bit ahead, right? Because you have cards like, Roger that just, catapult you forwards momentum-wise at the beginning of games. Or even, like a card like Crom that's like not incredible, but if you have mana, he's always kind of relevant. As opposed to like, you have to be able to cast Kark, protect him, and like be able to cast like a ton of spells.
Well, I think I'm trying to play Kark a little backwards, where I deploy Value Engine first, then deploy Kark later. Because if you play him, I guess, forwards, you're just playing Kark, and then you're going, cool guys, don't swords him for like no reason. But like that's never gonna happen, right? So
he's just a normal guy, trust me.
yeah.
Do you plan on casting Ishai outside of
I mean, if things go really wrong, yes, I'm gonna cast it.
How cool would a green Ishai deck be if you just play stuff like Greater Good and Life's Legacy, bro?
Damn. Dude, if you're gonna do that, just play Yargle Multani.
Dude, Ishai Kodama, don't tempt me.
Dude, hang on. Does Ishai can put your Ristic Study into play if you go Kodama out?
Holy shit.
How's Kodama Dargo doing these days?
Dude, think about it. You could put in your Ristic Study and then put in your copy enchantment as the Ristic Study.
Oh my word!
Guys, here's Ristic. Oh my god, here's another Ristic. Kodama Dargo is... I played it... No, I goldfished it once at Fishbowl, and I was like, wow, this deck is still really cool. And then I remembered that I'm not in blue, so I got really sad.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. It's technically a CDH deck that can win games. And the one time I took it to a level 7 weekly, I got my expected 25% win rate on it. So, I mean, you know, it's like, it technically checks out, I guess.
I wish Gruul were, like, it was a better color wedge right now. It just seems like it's so easy to get blown out.
Well, like, everything needs to be, like 2 color plus if you're not in blue. So, like, Gruul plus, you know, and making a teamer is fine. And Orzhov plus is obviously fine, right? I'm gonna do it. I just don't have the requisite cards. So, yeah, Maelstrom Wanderer is on my list of things to put back together.
It seems like it could be a lot of fun. I've never played an extra turn deck, but I really want to.
I think it's fun. I don't know how good it is. It's just like random. It's like big flips Narset. Except for Narset's probably quite a bit stronger, given that
it's more consistent.
Yeah.
Unless Jacob's playing it.
Poor guy.
Unless he's playing it against me, and then I've never seen him do anything. And I fully trust that the deck can do something, but I just don't ever see Narset flip into anything too scary.
Narset is just like 3-color Godo, bro. That's how I play against that deck. It eats Red Blast every time it's casted, bro.
That's a really funny 3-color Godo. That's kind of true.
Dude, if it gets one swing off, we get cooked. There's no way. Most of the time.
He plays all these like random silence effects and GA effects now too. Is he on Grand Arbiter too?
Yeah.
Yep. He has like such a big sideboard for that list.
Oh man, I just made a huge mistake. I didn't put Grand Arbiter in Kark.
Bro, it reduces your spells.
Holy.
By like a lot.
Cope.
Dude, I should have... Oh. I took Abeyance out.
You took Abeyance out?
Yeah.
You took
Kark
CDH staple Abeyance?
Dude, I think I played
It's a cantrip.
and Tibet.
I don't have him on this.
Rise of the Eldrazi is kind of a...
So Jay, are you on, what is that? Smuggler's Share now?
Regrettably.
Regrettably?
I don't know. It kind of came into my possession and then it ended up in my deck.
It's cursed.
Well, you have the world's most expensive Smuggler's Share in your possession now. A foil promo stamp.
So
It's so good.
somehow it ended up in my possession. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, and we were talking about this in another episode that we may or may not have released yet, but like the cards that are just good enough they kind of read uncounterable.
Yeah.
Why would I counter a Smuggler's Share? Like, that's not nearly as bad as a Ristic Study. And then...
Why would I counter a Valley Flood Call?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really do anything.
Why would I counter Chatterstorm?
if you're gonna merge. Like, just go. There's a huge gap. There's like 5 car lengths.
That had nothing to do with Chatterstorm, Logan. Stay on target.
Dude,
Thank you for driving while we're doing this. I would not be able to multitask like this.
Wait, so he merged over and then didn't actually get off on the exit that we're getting off on. What was the point of that? Okay, anyway.
Because it's SMRT, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about that because I'm playing Rock Dress tonight. And I need to get a Malevolent Rumble. Because that's a really strong card that also basically says, like, uncounterable.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a weird breach card, too.
Yeah.
It's a gas breach card. With Earthcraft in play. Whew.
It makes a body, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a body, you tap it, and then you sack it.
So if you have Earthcraft, it's literally like a breach cantrip, essentially.
Do you think that these ROG plus decks might start turning into Kark plus decks?
Nope.
You okay, Jay?
He's having flashbacks to Kark Rayon.
Dude, Kark Rayon was sick. It was Kark, what, Ikra Shadiki? Right?
We should play Thrash Vial Birthing Pod. Think about it. It's a 3-drop Vial Smasher. You just sack it.
You get Hazels?
Finally, Vial Smasher has found a useful purpose.
Getting sacked like Rograg.
No, I'm serious. I think Kark is in its own way extremely powerful. You don't get the mana generation necessarily,
I get that, but also like
He does say 50% chance to throw your game.
it also
only sometimes.
it's also like a self-imposed stack speed.
It really is.
You know, if you're praying to turn 2 or like cast a Ristic with the Rite of Flame and you just keep putting it back in your hand.
But no. But that's like the mistake of. I'm talking about 3-color Kark, right? Because in 2-color, yeah, you have these you have an incentive to get Kark out. I think earlier because you don't have a strong shell to back it up.
Sure.
But in 3-color Kark, you can rely on the shell and then play Kark later.
Dude, why don't we color shift Kark so we can play him as an Esper deck?
That sounds terrible.
Esper Kark, I think, would be.
I mean, I like the deck I'm playing is kind of close.
It is kind of.
Like my deck is kind of close to that. Like I'm playing white,
but like you want like the universal tutors in addition to like the silence effects.
Okay, hear me out. One of us at the next MTG Basics anything partner event has to play like Kark Sisei or something.
No. Hold on. Wait,
Dude, I'd do it, bro.
Wait, so you're telling me the deck that Play to Win's all been like glazing is Kark Timna?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get the universal tutors and you get the silence effects.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really get. I mean, obviously you don't get blue, but do you need anything from blue for the deck?
Get Probe.
Yeah.
Get Probe. Fuck, Get Probe's such a good card.
Weirdly, Frantic Search.
Oh yeah.
Tutor.
Yeah, but that's like a one-time tutor. You can't change.
Isn't the whole point of Kark is that no thing in your deck is a one-time? Right,
mystical tutor isn't though, right? Like because you have to draw the card.
Yeah, but you can just like, but like you run a ton of like cantripy stuff, right?
Yeah, but if it like resolves 7 times in a row, I don't care if mystical tutor resolves multiple times. I'm gonna tutor the same card to the top.
Unless you've stolen a Glarb, so that
oh my god!
So you're casting Mog Salvagers around the
Mog
top.
Salvage, yeah.
Get mogged on.
Why is that actually a good idea?
I can't believe they have a Gen Z card, a Mog Salvage.
No, I think Kark. I think what he gives you in combo potential, he takes from you in terms of consistency.
Interesting.
And
the high end, he's way more consistent, right?
At the high end, though, you have to add all the harmonic prodigy, harmonic Peabodies, into your list. And so, like, sure, you're getting consistency with Kark, but at the cost of what, like 7-8 cards in your deck. And all of them are like creatures, so it's primarily like sorcery speed.
Counterpoint. Games are running later and later.
True.
Casting one spell triggers Ristic. copying does not trigger.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, like, whether
bouncing your card to hand also triggers wrestling.
that never happens. 50% of the time, it works every time.
I think he can be strong. I would be really interested to see Tyler's list in action.
But also, like, dude, just fucking Fierce Guardianship is nasty in that deck.
That was brutal.
Mind break trap, bro.
Yeah,
But you also,
Mind break trap.
but you also have
Fierce is way better.
you also have to keep using your Fierce Guardianship to stop people from swordsing your Veyra or whatever.
Veyra?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but like just the fact they go, oh well, Kark has Fierce. Now I can't play anything because they're just gonna Fierce whatever I have. You can kind of like pseudo lock the table on certain things.
It's true. But do you want to like lock the table?
If you're ahead, yes.
But then it's hard for Kark to convert being ahead into winning though.
Is
No,
it?
I think.
Are you kidding me?
I think Kark's advantage state. If you're winning, you're like, beep, 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 I won the game.
Everyone just stares at you and goes, I can't do anything.
Are you kidding?
about
I've
this."
seen so many Karkashimas punt.
I'm not talking about.
I know you're
I'm
not
not talking about fucking. Is it Kark? It's so bad. That deck is. There's amazing pilots that pilot that deck just fine, but I truly think that 3-color Kark is there's something there that people are not exploring.
I definitely Ristic Study is a drug. I would
Say it into the microphone, Jason.
I definitely agree that there is unexplored space when it comes to Kark. I just don't like the idea of like.
Dude, I was playing Naya Kark and that shit is fun. Like it's not the best, but it's like
Well, I do think that is something
There's a green
Kark
light.
gives you is
Sidar
is
Kondo.
fun.
Oh my god. Bro, I used to play Timna Sidar as a stupid infect deck.
Oh my God. In casual?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was horrid.
We don't talk about casual.
It was bad.
We only talk about the critical.
Yeah, we only talk about the realest CDH decks like Kark Sidar.
I'm not making any statements about how 3-color Kark is going to be like taking over or anything like that, because that's just like YouTube clickbait. But I do think it's underexplored, and I think there's. I mean, if Rograck Plus is good, like then I think Kark can.
I definitely think it has the capacity to be good enough in some of the most fun or most memorable games you'll have in CDH.
Yeah. Like for example, Kark Silas. Casting Tainted Pact with some doublers and resolving Tainted Pacts sequentially is very fun, because you're like, oh, this is a cool card. Maybe I'll hit another cool card that's like helpful.
Just hit a few counter spells on your way down to Thrasios.
Don't you just
That's
Oracle and then
Yeah, that's what I mean. Cool cards.
What's cooler than
One hit-
scrying the
one
top
historical,
4
one
and then
historical,
putting
yeah.
3 on the bottom?
Yeah, one hits Oracle, and then you go, interesting.
But I thought we needed a ban Oracle. Ooh, stinky Oracle.
Dude, if they ban Thoracle, I think that like
Bro,
so many people
banning
just.
Oracle over Breach is crazy.
I think people just actually leave the format if Thoracle gets banned.
It is such a low-brow opinion to say that Thoracle needs a ban. Like, it's just not well thought out, and yes, it's the most concise win con we have, but it like, I don't know, yeah, I see it all the time, but like, it's so hard to assemble. If it's that easy, everyone would just win on like turn 2.
That's a good point.
It's
I think what people
you know.
don't like about it is that
You bring it to a casual table and they have no interaction. on turn 5.
there's definitely something dislikable about that.
Yeah, I totally get it being categorized into a game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it makes sense. But, oh my god, everyone's just gonna run lap ban after that, and then
Dude,
find a way to
watch
draw.
out for my leveler Thoracle on turn 7.
Dude, we already talked about Hashtaton this video. No, I think a lot of what people don't like is that it privileges Dimir plus decks over like a bunch of others. But I also am with you in that I dislike the idea that things should be banned because they leverage one color above the others. Because all that does is shift, like, sure, okay, another color becomes most interesting.
We just need to print more busted stuff.
I'm all here for power creep.
Well, and the other thing is,
Dockside too.
if
Dockside as well.
if we're having these every like 6 month or yearly bans, are we just turning CDH into Fortnite seasons?
Yeah.
Where we have to.
Commanders are rotating format now.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Is it like a rotating format where we're trying to find out what's good in the current meta, and the meta shifts every 6 months or whatever? Like, we already have that with like new cards being released, right?
Mhm.
We already have enough things changing and shifting. I don't feel like we need our win cons and like what's stable about the format to change.
I think we only need to ban cards if they make it so that the top 4 in tournaments have to be decided by the rental time for the venue. Like outside of like tournaments, I'm not quite sure why we need a ban list for like CDH, because that I think is the most prolific reason is just to prevent having super stalemate games that are literally is the same exact game every single time, and it becomes untenable in a tournament setting. Okay, I guess let me put it this way. To the car, why do you guys think bans exist in CDH, or why should they exist?
Ooh, that's a question.
So, I mean, of the 4 bans that just happened, I don't think really any of them should have gone through. Maybe Dockside, looking back now, but
Dockside Nadu.
you'll never catch me on the Nadu thing.
Bro, okay, I played a like almost 5-hour final in the Springs because it was double Nadu, double farm, and literally we spent like 10 minutes on each Nadu trigger because we're like, oh fuck.
Sounds like you were at least 50% of the problem, Jason. Yeah, but I mean, the 2 creatures notwithstanding, like, why the hell are our rocks banned? Like, what did that improve for us? Obviously, it made everything worse.
Well, I think a lot of people would say that like bans are supposed to help the health of the format.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I'm trying to like figure out is how does removing cards from the card pool make it a like healthier format?
Well,
not saying that is or isn't
the
true. I'm just
presumption
trying to
is that
understand.
the cards are so individually powerful and they're so ubiquitous that like if you hit that, then you have a leg up or an advantage over the next person.
Mhm.
Which, yeah, I can see that to an extent, but like no one was really complaining about Mana Crypt. Like I don't know of any CDH player that was like,
Dude,
oh, this
was so fun to play with.
yeah, it's great.
Dude, it's so good. So you would say that bans help protect CDH from becoming overly reliant on variants, because then it just becomes whoever gets Dockside or whoever gets Nadu out first.
In those cases, that's well.
Or like, what about like for
I guess
instance,
what
like
they're trying to cultivate is like a healthy, quote unquote healthy like
Length of time
environment.
for games too. They mentioned that. They said that the games were too short.
I mean, the other thing is like they're not prioritizing CADH in their bans, right? So that's why Dockside went, Crypt and Lotus went. It's because they're seen as higher powered cards, and they're catering towards the
absolutely.
So,
but
you know,
like
when you see a Mana Crypt in casual or a Lotus in casual, you're like, well, fuck, I'm like 2 turns behind.
Oh, dude,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I knew a couple people who like played that game. They're like, oh, I think it's a 7. They just brought all this stuff. But like we have a bracket for CDH now. Like we have tools for banning things, or at least like indicating that like if you're running these cards, it is considered a CDH deck. And so I don't know if bans are needed to telegraph those anymore.
It seems fairly likely that the 2 rocks will be unbanned, at least in, or I'd say unrestricted. I don't know, whatever that looks like, but it seems like they will return to our format. That would make sense to me. It would bring back power to a lot of decks that are lacking it.
It would be exceptionally funny if Jewel Lotus got banned and the only format it was really clear.
Well, it is currently. Jewel Lotus is currently banned, and the only format in which it was legal. Yeah. It is Yeah.
Besides that strange doubling cube interaction. Yeah.
Does anyone actually play it for that reason?
I think people tried it, but then realized that Jewel Lotus is such a bad card outside of that they just stopped.
I see. Well,
No, but it brings up your affinity, right?
oh my god. And storm count? Question mark?
Oh my god, you're
Storm
gonna,
count, affinity.
oh my god, you're gonna play so many frog knights.
And then you're gonna sack it, and then you can delve it away.
Well, the other thing is the like whole supposed health of the format. I think the format is inherently less healthy now because things are not as consistent. You have to dig deeper for those A or S tier pieces when you're mulliganing. So I think people are mulliganing worse. We're having like I've seen people go way lower on their mulls now than they were in the past.
So there is no dock side to punish these bulls anymore. Pull below, right?
There's no dockside to punish just dumping rocks either.
Yeah. Or just camping behind Ristics again. Like, Dockside was a few ways that the format had to just force action.
Dude,
Yeah.
let me tell you, before Dockside was banned, I played Thrasrog for a bit. I played every tutor for Dockside and every clone for Dockside. It was so gas.
Well, now we're even in a worse spot where it's just like, how many clones are you going to run for Ristic?
I liked it when we could clone Dockside because games would actually end.
Yeah.
Cloning
God.
Ristic results in long games where everyone just has
72-minute overtime.
Did you
I
guys?
miss,
Did
I miss Chthonian Nightmare Loops so much.
you guys hear about the player who got DQ'd from a tournament in Salt City? He was like aggressively. I think the call was collusion. Did you hear about that?
aggressively colluding.
Oh, that was Ian said that, right?
I don't know who.
Yeah.
I'd rather not say who it was because there's no point in like bringing that up.
Oh
but-
no, I don't know the individual, but there was.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was watching I was watching the VOD of it, and I think at the tournament the judge was like, yeah, in the player announcement player meeting, the judge was like, yeah, you're not going to be allowed to collude, and if it happens, then like call a judge and we'll make an assessment and DQ the player. So I think they were trying to push for a draw and saying like, well, if you just don't do this and you don't like you and I can kill the other two players and then we'll draw. And then that was a collusion call. But like, I think a large thing that would go to fixing our tournament format is sort of these self-imposed judge calls and kind of cracking down on some of these things. Because there's way too much shit that flies like right now that probably shouldn't.
Like what?
I mean, like the collusion thing is not coming up very often, but when it does, I think there needs to be like some sort of affirmative. Yeah, we're not allowing that. Also, I don't know.
And by collusion, you don't just mean playing for a draw. Do you also mean like, oh, right, like only one of us have enough points to get into top 16?
I think slow play is one of them. Oh yeah, sorry.
So you would say that like if someone is about to go to top 16 and the only person who has enough points to make it isn't in the lead, so a person has a win but they don't take it, you would say they should be DQ'd from the tournament.
Dude, I'm jamming that one every time.
I don't have fully formed thoughts on that, but I would say probably deals that revolve around winning or losing or drawing the game, especially in a way that it would like not all players agree to it. Then yeah, that probably needs to be disallowed. And then also, what was the other thing I was thinking about? Yeah, aggressive politicking and just kind of like steamrolling or like rolling over priority.
We hit our like.
Did we hit our 30 minutes?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna finish up anyway.
Yeah.
The other one was slow play. Like, I don't know. We don't have time to mess around anymore because there's too much stuff
tell
going
everyone
on.
to shortcut all their game actions.
Yeah.
I do think that we'll need a better kind of like communal understanding of what slow play or aggressively politicking is. Because I think for the same reason that like phrases like "oh, just counter whatever spells say win the game" on them like break down very quickly upon examination. I definitely think that if even as like someone who really enjoys kind of like aggressively politicking in games, I feel like a lot of times part of the reason I have to is because that's like what everyone else at the table is doing, so I have to.
But if I guess what I would say is if judges start enforcing or making calls based on these things, it's going to have a knock-on effect where people will start to behave themselves differently because they don't want to have a judge called on them.
That's really fair.
So if a word goes through the community that like, you know, X player got DQ'd because they're trying to make a deal that was like otherwise previously maybe they've gotten away with that and they're no longer able to get away with that, I think people will start to say, well, maybe I need to change how I'm playing, maybe I need to change how we look at games and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Well, thank you guys for riding with us on the way to level 7. Go ahead and hop in the comments and make your prediction for how many times Kark is going to lose Logan the game tonight.
It's going to be a lot.
How many games are on this list? 4.
He's going to die a lot too.
I'm expecting at least one story of you having like 8 copies of Silence on the stack or something like that. And
then none of them resolving. Yeah. Looking forward to that for sure.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for watching.
See you next time.